something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, peaches! Oh, welcome to Fix It, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay, and you're our listener.
Hey there, listeners.
Ho there, listeners.
Smaller little mouth coming out of my larger human mouth, listeners.
That's right, everyone. In case you haven't been paying attention, Adam has been a xenomorph this entire time. He's just...
I don't know if that picked up.
He's a xenomorph that just took way too much human DNA and now presents mostly human.
Yeah, Jay. I'm a human. I'm a human.
Yeah.
Like the rest of you.
That's why that one time, the one episode the preview that never came out, Adam accidentally cut his hand. And the acid burned all the way through our sound system. So we had to invest in a whole new sound system.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. But man, can your blood eat through
It's
tech?
fast, right?
It's swift. I got to be honest with you. If it didn't cost us a couple of grand, I would have been impressed, But anyways, welcome to Fix It. I'm Jay, that's Adam. You may know us from the wildly popular YouTube reaction channel Previewed. Or maybe you don't, and shame on you.
Shame. Shame.
But this is our podcast, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just started really sad and got sadder, and we fix it. And today we are going to be fixing the third movie in the classic Hollywood sci-fi film trilogy, Alien 3.
Yeah, when did this movie come out?
That is a good question. I feel like we have this conversation every episode, and it has never, at any time, caused us to maybe look at the year ahead of time.
It never does.
It never does.
I got you. It's 92. 92.
This was 92?
Yeah, Alien came out in... Wow. It's 11 years after the first movie.
Yeah, but there was a second one in the middle.
But there was a second one. But I think that's kind of like... That's why it was so vastly weird. Yeah, and Aliens 2 came out in 86. Wow! That's so much time between sequels.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have a lot to unpack with this film because there's so much.
That may help explain it, though, a little bit.
Yeah, the Alien franchise has always been playing on its back foot because I don't think, for being a Hollywood classic and being maybe some of the best monster movies that Hollywood has ever made, I don't think that like the business side has ever really known what to do with this franchise.
That's an interesting point.
Like, I feel like the studios have been vexed by this property.
Oh, yeah. It's the same thing as Terminator. Two very good movies, the top of sci-fi. They will go down in history.
Absolutely.
But past that...
But they're going to keep making them. I would think, similar to Terminator, I think all of the movies that they've made in the Alien world have had their moments. But
sure,
I don't
but
think
it's
anything.
never
They've
cohesive.
never really been able to capture the magic again, and they've really tried. And I feel like this movie tries to recapture the magic of the first film after the second one kind of went into an action movie direction. And in a way, the pendulum swung so far in the other direction. Yes, the pendulum. I know I'm wrong. And you need to know, everyone, that my wife even listened to the episode and was like, absolutely not. I can't have you out here being stupid in front of everybody. It's pendulum. Now, looking at the word, there's no reason that there should be a j sound.
There's
in there,
there's no j. Yeah,
but there is, and I think that considering my entire name is basically a j sound, I should be the arbiter of what should be a j and what shouldn't.
Oh,
However,
is that how it works?
I'm just saying. I'm
All
just
right.
saying. You know, it's not nothing. Nothing's an accident. You know, if it's all gold, my name's Jay. I get to be the arbiter of where the J sounds go, and it's pendulum.
Good to know. Okay.
Anyways, I think the pendulum swung far too far in the other direction with this movie. It was just like, oh, this thing is just sad from jump, and it doesn't really get any better than that at any point.
Nope.
But before we talk more about Alien 3, we have come to the first segment of the show. It's absolutely everyone's most favorite segment. We took a poll. It's Roll for Convo. And with Roll for Convo, Adam and I have been given 20 topics of conversation to let us know what we're going to be talking about in the first segment. I'm going to roll a 20-sided die, and the corresponding topic of conversation is going to be our first segment, provided to us by our truly incredible producer, Brian. He's the best producer in the game. He is currently at Pokemon Go Fest right now, or at least that's what he says. I'm of the firm belief that he's on the run from the law, but that's neither here nor there. Where are the bodies, Brian? Anyways, roll for convo. 20-sided die. I'm rolling Professor Bubblegum.
Oh.
And I'm rolling, and it is
Again?
Nat 20, my friend.
Oh,
Nat 20, baby. Nat 20!
All right. Okay. Welcome to Animal Voice Swap Talk. Which animals would you have swap sounds?
What animal would I have swap sounds? Now, this falls into two distinct categories of animals swapping sounds.
Okay.
There could be animals swapping sounds because it'd be funny.
Sure.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, yeah, there are certain animals that I think don't sound the way you think. You think what other animals would sound like the other. Yep. The animals, there's certain animals that you'd think would have other animal sounds, but then you gotta swap. But like, would it be a 1-for-1 swap? Would their sound be good on the other animal sound, or is it like, is there, there's got to be multiple variables?
So what you're saying is there could be a funny answer or a, hey, you know what, this actually works both ways answer.
No, I'm saying there could be a serious answer that one animal should sound like the other one, but then I got lost in the sauce of like, but is it an even swap? Can we move that sound to another creature? And then, but like, would that be an even swap back to make like a trifecta situation?
Oh, like a three-way swap.
Or, yeah, but are we robbing Peter to pay Paul with animal sounds all the way until maybe like, it's just,
Well, let's discover, Jay.
It like that,
you know what, Jay? I don't think I actually can. I don't think my brain works like that. No,
I don't even know what I'm talking about. Because I think it'd be funny if a giraffe made like any sound.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, what does a giraffe sound like?
Giraffes make no sounds, so I think it exists as kind of like the ultimate repository for sounds. But
okay.
I think that that lands distinctly in the it's funny column.
Sure. Okay.
Like, I think giraffes being silent is pretty on brand for giraffes.
Well, they're not hurting nobody. They deserve to be silent. Yeah.
Giraffes ain't narcs. They ain't saying nothing.
That's right. They have long necks. They're
already sticking their neck out there. You think they're going to talk too? Come on now.
They see a lot of things going on in the Sahara, man.
Yeah, I think if a giraffe quacked like a duck, that'd be a fun time. I also, there are some animals that don't necessarily have like a trademark sound.
Sure.
And I feel like they should.
Oh, okay.
Like platypuses got to quack,
They absolutely do have to quack.
They got to quack.
Do they not? Do they not quack?
I don't think they make. I think they kind of make like. So platypuses, yeah, I don't think they really make. They don't really like quack per se.
So platypus got to quack.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
But also, there aren't enough animals out there. Birds sing, you know?
I think I think birds are right out of this whole conversation because like they all sing and there's no distinct. I mean, I know that the ornithologists, is that right? Who's people who study birds?
I think that's correct.
Is that right?
Ornithologists? I think it's ornithologists.
Whoever this, like, yes, all bird species have distinct sounds and mating calls or whatever, but to the layman's ear, birds, it's all birds, man. So, like, if we swapped bird sounds, like, okay, yeah, there's still bird sounds, man. I was like,
Yeah,
a cardinal sounds like a blue jay.
Yeah,
sure,
but if you
I
saw an
couldn't-
ostrich, like, really singing like a songbird, that'd be pretty fun.
Oh, okay.
But also, man, this is actually more layered than I thought it was going to be.
What if
But
like an
also,
ostrich sound like a chicken or a rooster?
What if all birds could talk? Like, you know how parrots can talk?
Oh
And
boy.
vocalize? What if all birds could do that? Like, if all birds could mimic? Can you imagine, like, chilling out with an emu and it just, and it just being able to say
Being
words?
like your best bud, yeah.
That'd be so scary.
Oh, it'd be scary?
Emus are terrifying, my friend.
But what if what if it turns out you like to be your bud?
I'm just saying, I just feel like there would be a TikTok trend of like people teaching words to emus, like scary words to emus.
Scary phrases to emus?
Like murder.
Oh.
Like I don't like it. I don't like it.
Or like, where are the bodies, Brian?
Yeah, but also other animals, birds sing, but also humans don't sing.
It's true, we're technically animals.
But nothing else sings, The other things should sing.
Whales sing.
They do. But that's how they talk. And fish are right out of it. I think we can all agree that most fish just don't count.
Fish don't count.
Fish don't count. Fish, they're just not part of the conversation.
How about whales and cows? That might actually work both ways. That'd be cool.
If you're telling me if you went by like a ranch and the cows were like, that would be dope. That would be very, very good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I think it's silly. I think it's silly that house cats can't roar in any capacity.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure. So you want to like switch up? You want to give house kitties a line roar and
I'm
vice
not
versa?
saying they need to have like the full line roar. I don't need it to be like, but I'm saying like a little kidified version of a roar would be really cute. I think we can all agree that would be really cute.
It'd be adorable.
I also think Komodo dragons should meow because I think that's funny.
Okay.
They're big. They're big. Scared. They're big. Honestly, and
They're reptile kitties.
I think if everything had a meow of some kind, I think we'd all be fine with it.
Oh, okay.
Sure. You're like petting a polar bear and it's like meow. I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, dude, I love you, kitty. You big polar kitty. I think they get a lot of people killed though. Because people just assume like, oh
yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they get mauled, yeah.
Yeah, the hyena meowed at me. And then they surrounded me and
then it laughed at me, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can't. Animal sounds talk. Brian, what's going on with you when you're coming up with these questions, sir?
That is an interesting question.
Yeah, now all I can think about is like, see, that would be a fun superpower to have, is just to switch in what the sounds that animals can make. Like, I would make your cats do the dolphin sounds.
Oh,
for a day, just like, just to drive you crazy.
Bucky
for like a
kind
day.
of already does that.
She does. She chirps and sings. But we all know why cats chirp and sing like that.
Yeah,
they're trying to kill birds, trying to lure the birds close so they can murder them.
Mm-hmm.
Bird murder, birder.
Yum yum, eat 'em up. No crumbs.
Yum yum, eat 'em up. Trying to think of like other
animals.
Yeah. I just think maybe some animals should be quieter and some should be louder.
Well, I mean, if you swapped like bears and gorillas, that'd be terrifying both directions.
Oh, if you could learn how, yeah, absolutely. But I also think it'd be funny if there was like if chinchillas were just crazy loud, like if they were just crazy loud.
Okay,
That'd just be fun.
sure.
And like if some big animals were like really quiet, be like, "Oh, sun bears are huge, but they're very soft spoken. They're kind of shy." Like, roar. What was that? I'm pretty sure I said
Roar,
roar.
roar.
Roar. Yeah, but that's one thing about like animals that's fun, like animal sounds, is that like a lot of animals they can vocalize, and it's clear that like they're using like way different parts of their body to make that sound
Mm-hmm.
than like we as humans really have the capability of doing so.
Sure.
Like we have a precise instrument as human beings,
Mhm.
but it's pretty localized.
Yeah.
Whereas like sometimes like a dog will bark and I'm like, that's like you're barking out of your whole being, dude. Who? Have you ever yelled like with your whole like essence?
Probably once or twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Or had like a guttural response to something, like seeing someone go, no! Like, ah! Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like we as humans, we only utilize like 25% of like what we're capable of emoting. But also if we ran at that, if we ran at that 100%, we would burn out really quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't handle it.
That's why I contain a lot of my energy. You know what I'm saying?
Is that it?
It's just so I don't burn out, you know, because
mm-hmm.
it would be too powerful. It's like, you know, have you thought about it like that?
No, I haven't. What if we changed our voices? We're animals. We can swap voices.
I mean, I am slowly installing the majority of my vocabulary in your body, so
Sure, but the cadence, not cadence, but like just tonally.
Oh yeah, your voice would get a lot deeper.
My voice would get deeper. Your voice
if you talked like me.
Oh, I'm higher than you?
I think so, at least in my head.
Oh, really? I thought you were higher than me.
Well, when I inflect, you know, but like like I can go real low. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Fix It. I'm Jay. That's Adam. So low.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So low, Jay. I don't know about that, Jay. I feel like we're both in the basement here. I mean, there's deeper registers than us, but still feel like I don't know. Maybe that's for everyone at home. Which one's lower? Whose voice is lower?
I think
overall.
I think I can go lower. I think I have a bigger vocal range than you from a pitch perspective.
Jay, you went to school specifically for that.
Sure, but I think I live a little bit higher than you. But I think where I was born is a little lower. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. You started at the bottom, and now you're here.
That's exactly what I meant. What a weird question, Brian. Well, this has been Roll for Convo.
Good job, Brian.
Good job, Brian. Where are the bodies? Said the emu. You made that joke and I missed it. I moved on mentally somewhere else, but I clocked it. I hope you know that.
Thank you.
I can see you get sad.
I appreciate it. I did. Like, oh, all right.
All right.
That's right.
I clocked it. I just said, I had other stuff to talk about, Lashy. You know?
Ah, yes, of course.
Well, this has been Roll for Convo. Animal noises. I think we nailed it. But if we need to swap stuff around, let's make chinchillas loud. So we should probably fix Alien 3.
Good Lord, yes.
Oh, boy. But before we get into Alien 3 proper, we should probably find out more about the third installment in the Alien franchise by talking to our producer, Brian. The best in the biz and currently on the lam. Brian, why don't you roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage?
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here, and today we're fixing Alien 3. Released in 1992, it was written by David Giler, Walter Hill, and Larry Ferguson, and directed by David Fincher. It stars Sigourney Weaver, Charles S. Dutton, Charles Dance, and Lance Hendrickson. Here are some fun bean facts. This movie cost $60 million to make and made $159.8 million at the box office. This movie infamously was a production mess. They shot without a finished script, as there were multiple versions of the script by many different people. Also, pre-production was a mess. They spent millions of dollars before they even started this movie. Now, Vincent Ward was originally supposed to direct and was replaced with David Fincher. This was his directorial debut. There are multiple cuts of this movie, but the studio has control over all of it, obviously. If you care, it has a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 2.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen, and please enjoy writing your fix. Bah.
Good job, Brian.
Great job, Brian. Thanks, Brian.
That was a lot of information.
A lot of information about Alien 3.
You wouldn't think there'd be that much, because there isn't a whole lot to this movie.
Yeah, this movie kind of, I have to be honest, it sent me down a little bit of like a mental rabbit hole just about this franchise in general.
Oh, okay.
In that, I have a lot of affection for the Alien movies and the Alien franchise.
Okay. Do you?
But watching this movie, I was like, why do I like this so much?
Yeah.
It called into question. I was like, these movies are kind of all over the place. Like all of the Alien stuff we've ever gotten has never really truly ever been able to, we've mentioned this before. It hasn't been able to capture this first movie, but it's made me like, it brought up the question, like, have they nailed it since? Because like the tone is always so different. Like you have, like they brought in Predator and Alien into the same universe. So Alien versus Predator. And that made it fun. That made it an action movie. And I was like, those are fun. Isn't that a good time? But I was like, but it doesn't really scratch the itch of an Alien movie or a Predator movie. Those movies are more, I mean, I would argue those are more Predator movies than Alien movies.
Yes.
And then we moved into Prometheus, which is, back in that like kind of
origin tale of stuff. But
like, also like the kind of like hard hitting psychological, like, like the mental sci-fi, like it's suspenseful.
Yeah.
And that's great. But I'm also like, that doesn't get me there. No. And then I'm like, is it because Ripley's not in them? Do I need Ripley? Is it this main character I care about? Because part of me was thinking, I was like, what frustrated me about this third movie is that I think losing Ripley at the end of this movie doesn't feel poetic and feels kind of like a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
But I was like, but I mean, it is, an arc, I suppose.
How is it? How?
Well, it's like rather than like it's a beginning, middle, and end. It's like we have an alien related end to this character. So I suppose,
I guess, but it's I don't know.
It's like, do we just like the monsters and that's it?
Well, I mean, the reason why we're doing this episode is because Alien Romulus is coming out this week.
Yes,
and that seemed like it is more in line with the original movie, but also close to the Alien Isolation video game.
Yes.
Where it's people finding themselves in a situation similar to the first movie, but going about it in a slightly different way. So it's not exactly the same thing as the first movie, but it is capturing we find ourselves on a spaceship or, some type of facility with lots of corridors. And Jeffrey's tubes and all sorts of stuff.
This movie did good on the corridor front. They had some good corridors.
Oh, sure. But it's just, the story has to take place in the correct facility. And the third one didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. But for those who maybe have not seen Alien 3 and are just listening just for the cadence of our voices alone, we're glad you're here. Maybe we should let them know in everyone's absolutely most favorite segment, we took a poll. Plot drop. And this is where Adam will let us know what happens in Alien 3.
Okay, so there's going to be a couple of times here where I'm going to deviate and have two different versions of events because there were apparently two different versions of this movie.
That's right. We watched two different versions inadvertently.
Jay watched the shorter one, which was just like about an hour and 50 or so minutes, if a little less.
Yes.
And I accidentally watched one that was closer to 2.5 hours, which is nuts. So the events of Aliens, Ripley, Newt, and one of the commander guy or whatever survived and got off the planet and got into hibernation. But between the movies, there was a pod, an alien egg sac or something that somehow made it onto the escape ship or whatever and hatched a face hugger. Off screen, Newt dead, commander guy dead, and as you come to find out later, Ripley has an alien queen inside of her chest.
McQueen!
So the ship that they were on, realizing that there was an alien specimen or something in their little escape section, jettisoned their section of the ship out of their ship, and their section fell onto a planet that just happened to be a penal colony of just a bunch of dudes but people who have committed like the worst crimes, like really, really bad, and having a woman there, not good for anybody. In my version of events in the movie, the face hugger survives long enough to crash land on this planet with Ripley, and then face hugged a cow. And
in mine, it was a dog.
And in Jay's, it was a dog. And when in the movie theater when I originally saw this back in the 90s, I saw the dog version. So dog or cow eventually die, and then alien comes forth from said animal. There's like 26 or so prisoners and like a warden and a doctor. And it takes about 40 minutes until somebody dies from the alien. Otherwise, it's just all set up of like a girl being here is really bad news because we can't control ourselves and we're all terrible people. Rah, 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 rah. The alien starts killing people, and then Ripley finally is like, guys, I know what's going on. We need to work together to kill this thing. And so the alien kills the warden, and everyone's like, oh, crap, we need to work together to kill this thing. And they had a great idea of trapping the alien in a room that only had like a giant 3-foot steel doors, and they would coat a bunch of hallways in accelerant, and they would burn the alien towards the room and then lock it in.
That's so pretty smart, actually.
I will grant you that this movie had the characters trying to do smart things to trap and or kill the alien. I will grant you that. But they're painting the walls and floors of the facility in accelerant. But which is really smart. But at the same time, they allowed one of the guys who was doing that to work with a lit cigar in his mouth the entire time.
They sure did. I didn't even really. Honestly, it's just it's such a trope in those kind of movies now. I didn't even clock it. That was stupid. I was like, yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
they're doing something really smart, but it's stopped by doing something really, really stupid. So the alien just happens to kill the right person. The cigar drops out of the guy's mouth, lights all the accelerant on fire, kills like half of the team. But eventually, one of the guys does sacrifice himself by luring the alien into the room with the 3-foot doors. So everything's fine. Somebody contacts that, was it like Wutai or whatever the name of the corporation that's been after the aliens the entire time. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, we have a specimen and Ripley's here. Oh, like, don't capture it. You're not allowed to kill it. We're coming. But then earlier in the movie, one somebody survived the alien attack and then kind of went crazy, and so he released the alien after they captured it, and then everyone's got to work together again to trap it or try to kill it this time. Because it was like, we're not capturing it. If Wu-Tai's on the way, we got to kill it because they're going to do bad things with it. Rabble, rabble, rabble. So they use physics and science to, once again, everyone dies on the way to get this alien into the furnace area to get dropped hot, molten, I am assuming some type of metal on top of this alien, which then jumps out of this liquid metal. And then Ripley turns the sprinklers on it, which causes metal, if it heats up really fast and then cools really fast, it will crack. And so, because the alien was heated up so much, they cast heat metal on the alien. They cooled it down real fast, causing the alien to explode.
That was fun. That was a cool idea.
Hey, man, science, that was cool. I will grant them that was cool. But then Wu-Tai shows up, and they're like, Ripley, you got to come with us so we can get the queen out of you. And she's like, I know what you're going to do. You're just going to get the queen out so then she could try to use this as a weapon or whatever crazy thing. And it's just going to kill so many people. So I'm going to just jump into the furnace. So Ripley jumps into the furnace. Now, in my version of events, Ripley just jumps into the furnace and that's it. In I believe Jay's version of the movie, Ripley jumps into the furnace, and then as she's falling, the camera follows with her, and then the queen bursts out of her chest, and she grabs it so it can't jump away or whatever, and then boop.
Which is a cool shot. I mean, it was a cool.
Sure. But
It's
at the same time, it's like our main character heroine just had an alien burst out of her chest. And was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And the movie ends. And then they realized they messed up and made a fourth one.
Yeah, they were like, we have to bring her back because why did we do that? Why did we kill the main character that everyone loves? To make a sad movie even sadder.
Yeah, it's a very somber film. It's not fun.
It's not fun, and I think that's my biggest note. Also, this has been Plot Drop. Good job, Adam. Nice work.
Thanks. I mean, the first movie wasn't all that fun. It was spooky, scary, and very suspenseful.
No, but you had some comedic relief characters. You had these characters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. But it was more of a horror film, and the second one was more of an action film, or a little bit more of like a war film.
And this wasn't either of those things, really.
It wasn't suspenseful
This
at
was
all.
kind of like a Diet Coke action movie.
Yeah.
For me, this movie, we've talked about this beforehand, but the fact that this movie starts with the little girl dying on impact, I think that's where the movie lost me basically immediately.
Yeah, they die. Yeah, they die off screen while the credits are rolling.
And
it's something
not
out of their control. Yeah,
it's just like we fought so hard in this second movie to save this little girl, and then you're literally just going to say there's no happy endings in space. Time to go to prison, I guess.
The shot of Ripley holding Newt with Newt grabbing onto her with a gun, the flamethrower slash machine gun, killing aliens from the Aliens. This is iconic.
Yes.
And now it's like, no,
yes,
man, Newt died.
Yeah, and it doesn't. It's like you literally have one of the most iconic sci-fi movie moments ever put to film, and then it doesn't. The movie after it goes, yeah, but it didn't matter anyways. Oh, okay. Thanks a lot, movie. Thanks a lot. I will say this movie is very dour, but they do one thing from a screenplay perspective that I think I really appreciate as an audience member.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I thought eliminated one icky possibility off the board by making all of the prisoners hyper religious, and they want to get her off the planet for religious reasons. It eliminates guys being creepy with a girl coming to prison.
Well, in my movie that I watched, there was an attack.
Oh. That wasn't in my edit.
In my edit, there's an attack when Ripley goes out to the ship, or the remains of the ship. The remains of Bishop, the robot.
To get the Bishop, yeah.
Yes. She is attacked by 4 or 5 guys, and our doctor shows up to help her fight them off.
Oh, and mine, he didn't go with her. He said he had the scene with the warden.
It was either the doctor or the pastor gentleman,
Yeah.
the last man standing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The guy that like ultimately fought him with the axe. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, there was
But it could have been
attempt. Oh, yeah.
it could have been way worse.
Could have been way worse.
And I was just like, and when she was like, "It's a prison planet," I was like, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Is this one gonna get? Does this one not gonna age well? And it's like, nope, we just eliminated that part of it. Thank you.
Well, I mean,
Thank
the main reason I think they put it there in that scenario is like, hey, all these guys can die. Like, don't worry about this. These are all 25 of these just random dudes. Cannon fodder. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah,
you don't need to worry about any of their names or whatever. These guys are just going to go get pulled down one by one.
They're all red shirts.
They're all red shirts,
and they all deserve it.
I mean, honestly, the only thing this movie gave us was the iconic shot of Ripley in the nurses nurse's office of when she's against the wall. She's like, "Well, no," and the alien's like,
yes.
"Oh wait, you have the queen in you." That's about that's it.
I would say also her leaping into the fire is also pretty iconic. But that's the thing about this movie is that I think there's a lot of this movie from a shot perspective and from a art direction and cinematography perspective. This movie is very competent sci-fi.
Oh, sure.
Like,
it's shot well.
This movie,
the
like,
sets are fantastic.
Really has a cohesive vibe. And that's one thing that the Alien movies across the board have always really been strong with, is that like they set their place like really strongly. Like there's at no point, like you can give into the given circumstances of these movies like very easily. And they have like like a clear voice, like shot wise. It's just the first movie wasn't necessarily like wasn't bright and cheery, but it wasn't dour. And this movie made a lot of creative choices visually to be like kind of rundown and dour.
Yeah.
And when the tone of what's happening action wise, like it's almost like they run too parallel to each other, that it's just like, I'm having a really hard time. Like this movie is bumming me out.
Jay, I did something with this movie that I've never done before. And I will say I may not ever do it again, but we'll see. I was able to find this movie with a player that played this movie at 4 times
Adam
speed.
Lash.
Jay, the movie I watched was over almost 2.5 hours, and it was 11 o'clock at night after we worked all day.
Yeah.
I needed to heat this thing up on the biggest spoon and get it into me as fast as possible. And let me tell you, I didn't miss anything. No. The movie is the one I watched was 2.5 hours, and like at 4 times speed, I watched it in basically over an hour. And man, we just shot right through it, and I missed no details because it's just a slog.
Yeah, it was just a slog. And I think here's where where my head is at fix wise.
Sure.
I think we need to have more fun. I think we also need to explore, and it's one thing that's frustrated me the most about the Alien movies, is that like we never really fully flesh out, and I think Prometheus has been doing this, flesh out what's going on with these corporations that want these monsters. They're always kind of like on the sidelines being like, oh, we're getting cryptid communique. I'm like, I want to see, for me, with this third movie, when she's like trying to stop the corporation from getting these monsters, I feel like a better movie would be seeing this company get this monster.
You know what the fix of this movie is, Jay, and we can just sketch out the details.
Yeah.
You know what? Aliens 3, and granted, this movie came out in 92. The fix of this movie is Jurassic Park.
Yes. Yes, it is. And that okay. So one of my okay. I think that actually goes hand in hand with what I was
Thinking
because
about?
I had a fix in my head that was I guess we're moving into the fix.
I think we're
portion.
moving to the fix. I mean,
Yeah, we're already here.
There's not. This movie is not complicated. It's not very deep. It's just a bunch of
I don't
terrible
think-
people getting killed one by one until Ripley commits suicide into the
I
thing.
think this is
Which
very
happens to be-
easily
Just a quick side note. Sorry, just a quick side
No,
note. This
please.
movie takes place in 92. In 92, we had two sci-fi franchises end their movie with the hero jumping into fire to kill themselves.
Oh, is this
to
Terminator
protect-
2 year as well?
Same summer as T2.
Oh my gosh, that's a hell of a summer. But
I think.
what was it? I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry about that.
No, it's totally fine.
Oh, T2 came out in 91. It came out afterwards, one year after.
Liar.
So
Welcome
it's
to
still from-
Fix
it's
It, where it's just
still from
us looking
T2.
up when movies came out.
When movie was?
What movie was? Welcome to When Movie Was, where friends don't let friends Wikipedia alone. I had this like concept of this third movie of maybe we said like let's lean into the fact that this movie comes out a good amount of ways away from Aliens.
Sure. I mean, yeah, if it comes out in 92, I mean, granted, Jurassic Park, the book had been written, and the movie itself was a couple of years away. But, I mean, basically, see, you're right, because if they're trying, because it seemed like they were trying to do the trilogy thing. Like Alien 3, here we go. It's the big climactic, everything's been leading to this, but like, with normal trilogies,
But it's not even really that big of a thing. They crash land and they got to get off the planet.
It's completely random happenstance.
There's nothing.
Yeah. But if they were trying to do something where this is the last story of Ripley or whatever, right? Normal trilogies, everything continues on an upward path to like the final movie is the big ending. But this didn't. This just went back. It went down. It didn't. Nothing. There was no rising action. Nothing. This isn't. So like.
Yeah.
There needs to be more. We need to see, the Emperor needs to show up, right?
Yeah.
We need to finally get to Gondor and destroy the ring. Like, there's a reason we need this movie to do a thing.
Yeah.
The thing that should happen is this company going down.
Yes.
It started the first movie. They were working for that company. The company sent the Marines in for the second film because they were trying to get a sample, and then everyone died. And then Ripley was like, no, screw this. We're destroying the entire planet. We're going to nuke this site and save Newt and get out of here.
Yeah.
So, like, it only makes sense that this third movie should be more focused upon the company behind all of this, especially if you want to do like Prometheus, because it doesn't change anything about the Prometheus, because we can see the origins of this company trying to get this alien sample or whatever for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If we want to incorporate Jurassic Park into this,
Check out this.
okay. I think we set up Paul Reiser's in the second one, right? He's the one that sends her on the mission to kill the aliens.
Paul Reiser's in the first one.
Oh, that's the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Paul Reiser's in 2, I thought.
Yeah, let me check.
He's
Yeah.
at the tail end of 1, right?
I think so. He was in Aliens, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But he died.
Oh, he dies in that.
Yeah.
I could have sworn. Never mind. I think we get to a situation. I think we get ourselves into a situation where, like Ripley has kind of become, the, the foremost expert on xenomorphs and has kind of like gone rogue a little bit and is trying to eliminate them in some regard.
Well,
Like a Ghostbusters situation. She's gone like official.
I mean, I think I agree with your assessment. Can I postulate a possible
You don't need to
origin
ask
point
me,
for
just
this?
do it.
Can
That's
I,
the show,
can, I,
baby.
can I have the conch shell? May I have the talking baton? I think we can actually do the same thing in the beginning of the movie, right? Where like it's like Aliens 3, and there's credits rolling. The people who are going to be in this movie, but flash cuts to people, them in the hybernetic chamber pods or something.
Okay.
I think they make it back to civilization, and let me hold on 1 second. What's the name? I want to find out the actual, because I'm going to keep calling it Wutai, and I don't think that's right.
Yeah, we probably should look that up.
Alien company name. It's Wayland. Oh, it's Wayland Yutani. I was close. Wayland Yutani. Wayland-Yutani. Wait, I'll just call it Wayland.
Sure.
So what if we start the same way? People in the movie, here are people in the hyperbaric chambers or whatever sleeping. They get picked up. They get saved. But they keep them in the pods.
Okay.
And then we just see them being carted along to a, science facility. Let's put it in a lab. We put this whole thing in a lab.
Sure.
But they also have samples from, the ship might have had some alien stuff on, or they may, have a carcass or something, right?
Okay.
So we see in the beginning them setting up their science stuff to genetically test and do the things they wanted to do with the aliens.
Okay.
And so we start kind of like we do with the first movie of Ripley coming to, but like she's in a Wayland lab.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
And I was like, what is, because years can pass. A lot of years can pass between these movies because of the cryogenic freezing.
Sure.
So like, where am I? What's going on? What year is this? And it's like, oh, Miss Ripley, oh, you're perfectly fine. You made it back. We saved you. Blah 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 blah. And then Act 1 is learning what's going on, why she's in this lab, why she's not allowed to leave. Where's Newt and the guy? They could be elsewhere, so they don't have to be in the movie, but or maybe they're in the final shot towards the end, but we can focus on Ripley and just this lab stuff. So we get to see, Act 1 is the establishment of what Wayland actually wanted to do with them. And we get to walk Ripley around, it's some parts of this lab establishing where all the action's going to happen in the back half of the movie.
Yeah.
And then Ripley's like, I need to get the F out of here. This place is a death trap. I don't understand why you guys aren't getting this. My team died in the first movie.
Yeah.
You said all those Marines couldn't handle them. You're playing with... We're scientists. The Wayland Corporation is so amazingly blah, 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 blah. So Ripley decides to break out. And she, because kind of like a prison break. And then
have we established that there was a face hugger on this drop pod?
Wait, we don't need to. I don't think she has. I think they're free and clear. I think she's fine.
So they're just basically interrogating her to get information about the scene.
They are keeping her on lockdown because she's the only person that's had this much contact with them.
Okay.
And she fought and killed a queen.
Yes.
So they need her.
Absolutely.
They don't care what she thinks. No, we're keeping you. Because you're part of you're part of the company. It's space future. So companies rule or whatever. So Ripley's like, no. I'm a person. I need to get Newt back. I need to get the commander guy. I forget his name. We got to get the heck out of here. This is not cool. And so she attempts to break out. And in doing so, Jurassic Park happens.
Okay. Well, how do we make it Jurassic Park then?
Well, we see what they've been doing in the time between movies. After they've saved or whatever, they have some stuff and they're able to. They make some they kind of cloned an alien in the Resurrection, which is kind of I'm kind of human and I talk. Mom, why are you sucking me out into space?
Can I offer some fun?
Jay, that's the podcast, man. You don't need to ask permission. You can just do it.
Touche.
How you like it? How do you like it, huh?
Touche. the ship that picks, I think the ship that picks them up.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that they can do the reason that they have a lot of research, about like the xenomorph,
Mm-hmm.
is that this is a Wayland, a ship, what they're calling an arc ship.
Ooh, I like it.
In that it is basically like they are going in, they basically are collecting like all of like important biology across the galaxy
Mhm.
in order it's like basically like a biotech ship.
Sure.
And so they have like lots of different animal species and lots of different, fauna species. They're like, oh, like
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
So when when facehuggers do eventually find their way onto this ship, we can get some these facehuggers don't necessarily latch themselves onto humans. We can get some facehuggers or some xenomorphs that have latched on to, some different kinds of creatures.
Yep.
So we can get maybe this movie has 3 xenomorphs on this ship, but they're all different kind of varieties of xenomorphs. So because like the thought, like the aspect of it like absorbing DNA or whatever
Mhm.
has always kind of seemed like it wasn't really it was something we knew as an audience because someone told us, but the movies don't really do a good job of communicating that.
Yeah,
And
it's just kind of like, they all kind of look the same. Doesn't matter what thing you came from.
And
They kinda
so
look
like
the same.
I feel like in this first act we can also kind of like info dump about xenomorphs, so we as the audience can understand them a little bit more, and because we want more lore on it.
Yeah. What if this? I don't know a ton about the lore of Alien, but what if wasn't in the first movie? Didn't they go to the planet and the guy got face hugged because they find that ship
In
the first movie?
yes,
What if they had the remains of the first ship in this arc?
yes, yeah.
So we, because it's this trilogy, we go back to where it all started. Oh yeah, no, we know where it was. We followed your logs. Yeah. Your ship wasn't destroyed.
Or was that the beginning of Prometheus?
No. I mean, I think the same thing happened in Prometheus because the guy's like takes his helmet, but like I think it's also in the first one there was like what are all these little sacks on the ground?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
they have regardless of whether or not it's the ship, they have a callback to the first movie in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we've been following everything that you've done, and we're fascinated by it. And I think maybe therein lies the mystery of what I think this movie can turn itself into. Is that Ripley has made it very clear that it's like, hey, this is cool that you're doing research on these things. Like they can't get past the face hugger phase. Like they can't. You can't let them do that. They're like, oh, of course, absolutely not. Like we're not even getting, all of these have been dissected. Like we're not doing anything like that. Like, of course we wouldn't do anything like that. And she's like, I don't think you understand like what these are. They're like, that's why we're talking to you, so we can have a more full understanding of what these are. And she's like, these should just all go out the airlock. And they're like, well, we can't do that. Well, like,
yeah. This is an invasive species that could actually destroy any planet they come upon. Like, you don't understand. This is an extinction level event.
Yes.
These things, I mean, study them okay, but like we need to get rid of them. Oh, of course, we wouldn't want anyone to have the control of these things. That would be terrible.
Yeah. And I think what the mystery of this movie ends up being is that as they're fighting, I think we give them more xenomorphs to fight, but they are a little bit more well equipped to.
Oh,
fight
sure,
them.
yeah. They've had time. They have a little bit more. They have more weapons.
Yeah, and so like we can get some more creative xenomorphs out of the mix, which those just make good toys. I mean, we all are here to sell toys. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
We can get some wisecracking security and scientist folks.
There could be some good people there as well. I mean, not everyone's a murderer, or whatever, a prisoner. So we feel bad about these people if they, get picked up by a pterodactyl and flown over everybody and then dropped into the sea. And
one's got wings for sure, but also like they could be. it's also a circumstance where, in a Jurassic Park fashion, they could be making their way through all of these like different biomes that they have on this ship. Power goes out and they have to like make their way through while dodging the xenomorph and also whatever alien stuff they have on this ship. I think, and we have like a kind of sympathetic scientist that's working and realizes like, oh, the xenomorphs have got to go. Like I see it. I understand it now. I'm so sorry. We're going to stop this research. We just need to make it to the bridge in order to like basically like shut down the functions of all those parts of the lab. And like,
yeah. Because it can be a little bit more like a disaster film or a disaster movie in that, like, okay, so in order to do what we need to do first plan of attack is we got to get to the bridge to do a thing. Okay, we got to the bridge. Oh crap! Oh, something is broken. We need to go. Like Jurassic Park, we need to go do plug something in or turn something on, and it's in this section. We got to walk through this thing. So it's not like just we got to survive and get off this thing. It's like no, we have a planned version of steps. We have to do. You got. There's a couple of steps to the main quest of A, B, and C, and D to able to get rid of the stuff, burnate the entire, whatever. And it's not just survive. It's like we actually have to do a thing to get off.
Yes. And I think we get our characters, as we're losing people along the way, we get our characters to the bridge, and upon inspecting, we can get to the bridge and they're like, I can shut down all of these like life support systems. And then like, like we can take this out from the inside. It will be fine. Like I can purge this station. And it's no problem. We get to the bridge. We find out that there has been an automatic override on the bridge systems, that they're no longer able to purge their research. Like they've taken away they've taken away like all of the purging systems, but also the autopilot has been activated and the ship is flying to Earth. So we give ourselves a ticking clock, and it's like, they just want this research. This cannot get to Earth. It will kill everyone on Earth. And we also find out, and eventually what the scientist finds out, and like the full swap of their character onto Team Ripley, because I think maybe up until that point the scientist has been kind of snarky and has been a little like it'll be fine. Like I understand, like we can purge this and start again. It's not that big of a deal. But like guys, it's not. This isn't that serious. Like this is the kind of work we do. But then what they don't realize when they get to the bridge is that it's on the trajectory of Earth, and that they did not realize that the company has a fully sedated queen on board that clearly has woken up and has started laying eggs. And that's where we got our xenomorphs to begin with, because we don't know where they came from jump.
Absolutely.
And so we have to we're getting more xenomorphs as they come, so we can get we get like the smaller, more intimate stuff in the first like act and a half, and then we can kind of move into the action, the kind of action movie aspect of the second one, and that we have to start fighting. We got to start fighting these things, like a bunch more of these as time goes on. Even if we wanted to keep the first half of the movie just one of them, and they kind of take it out. But then have to make their way to the bridge to be like, oh, everything's fine. We killed the xenomorph. We made it to the bridge, and then it's like, oh, all those weird alien creatures you got on there? They're all getting xenomorphed. So we got to fight a bunch of weird ones. We
got a menagerie in there of xenomorphs.
Yes, that's fun on a bun, because it's like it gives you that action movie kind of thing. Like I think the third one should have been an homage to the first one and the second one.
Ooh, yes. The first half being more like the first one, and the second half being more of the, leading into Act 3 being more of the second one.
Because it's we can. That's one thing that's been cohesively not cohesive about these movies, is that they've gone one or two directions. It's like, do both. Give us both.
And when we have the menagerie, we can actually see the full extent of just how dangerous and malicious these xenomorphs are, because like we've really only seen, basically they've all just been like, what, tied with the humans, so they're basically bipedal. Like, no, man, have the creature department like go nuts.
Yeah.
Come up with these wild ass creatures or
Because
whatever.
no one's mad about
then
that.
xenomorph them and
Yeah.
then see just the horrible combination of these things, like truly like, oh my god, we
I
only
want
just
winged
see them like,
xenomorphs. I want tentacle xenomorphs. Like, let's go crazy.
let's go crazy. Just truly see how bad these things are.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm fine with we take out the queen and then like we have to figure out a way to kind of blow up this ship. I'm okay with our characters. I'm okay with our characters making a sacrifice to get rid of these things
Sure.
when the stakes are that much higher.
Mhm.
And it's not that the stakes in the original movie are not necessarily high, but it's like there's a clear and present danger. It's like, or you very well can just have our heroes from this one jettisoning off into space again, and someone making a joke like, "Hey, I hope we're done with this. If we get woken up again somewhere else after crash landing somewhere, like." And then you open yourself up for a fourth one.
I mean, I have a couple of ideas. Either it crashes into the moon.
Okay.
We slam the ship into the moon. We could have Ripley. I mean, there's multiple ideas here. Ripley can, of course, sacrifice herself to stay on the bridge and to make sure that the ship crashes and like detonates its fission core or whatever to like really make sure like everything is atomized.
Yeah.
But like, what if we had like if Newt and the soldier guy are still on the ship? What if they could pop up as like a surprise, like, oh, we just saved your butts. Hey, it's us. Oh my god, Newt, you're older. Yeah, I got woken up a little while ago and I've aged. I'm in my 20s now.
Oh, that's good.
Just so the actress doesn't have to be a kid anymore, because she can be an adult. And like Ripley can like choose to sacrifice herself, and she could do that. Or what if the soldier guy like, yeah, you can.
Hutch,
and then,
right? It's Hutch.
I think. Oh yeah, Hutch. Yeah, does the old switcheroo of is like, yeah, you can sacrifice yourself. Oops, nope, I'm doing it. I'm the soldier. I lost my whole thing. You deserve. You don't deserve.
Someone's got to take care of Newt.
Someone's got to take care of Newt. And let everyone know about Wu Tai. Nope, I said it again. Wayland, because like I think a couple of scientists, like a couple other people, need to survive so that like, hi everybody on Earth, this corporation's terrible. And
you're right. You're absolutely
because
right.
like we need that type of ending, at least of like, okay, this company or this galactic company is now in danger, or it's or gets destroyed or gets taken out or whatever. But like, it doesn't stop the aliens from being out in space. But like this specific angle can be done.
Yeah.
So like, I think Ripley either it's Newt and Hutch survive, or it's Newt and Ripley survive, and also just a couple of new characters from this movie were scientists, or maybe a security guard or something with the footage and stuff that they need to like. No, this is Wayland. They knew what they were doing. You had no idea. Earth. They almost killed all 12 billion of us on this planet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I gave the moon a new crater, but
there's got to be
they go into the sun.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of takedown of this corporation, because they've clearly been pulling the strings on this, and like we need the bigger picture of this.
Yeah, we need the bigger picture.
And it's fun that like all the Bishop bots look like Wayland, and that's fun. Like that's an interesting thing, but like. Yeah, the Alien movies have built kind of a very rich world that they all live in, and it's very well breathed in. But like, it almost sometimes I feel like they kind of want to be so close to reality, or at least the reality they've created for these movies, that it's just like, no, this can't have any kind of happy ending, because that's not how real life works. And I'm like, no.
Can't some people survive this terrible incident?
Yeah.
Please?
Like, I want to see Sigourney Weaver kill a xenomorph kangaroo, and you know,
A xenomorph with a power of jump.
it's goddamn ups, baby, and its second mouth is out of its pouch.
Oh,
It'll
shit,
get you.
pouch mouth, yeah.
Pouch mouth. But yeah.
The Alien films, as we have learned, I remember seeing the fourth movie, but like the only thing I remember is like there was a weird like albino, almost kind of talking alien at the end. I was like, Mom, why am I getting sucked out of a little hole into the vacuum of space? Like, why is an alien talking right now? This is so. What is happening?
Yeah, it's not it.
What is happening?
It's not it at all.
I don't think we need to make any more alien films.
Yeah,
We nailed it. It has been nailed.
It's the thing is that like every time they talk about a new one coming out, I'll be honest, there is part of me that's like, yeah, awesome. But then I go and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't this every time I come here, I get kind of sad a little. I don't know. It's a sticky wicket because it is so iconic.
Because they're trying to like do something new, but not too new. Because if you do too new or too different, it's just like you forgot what makes these movies, or they couple. This idea was good in only two versions: all action or all suspense.
Yeah,
and Romulus seems like it's going to be mostly suspense with a little bit of action sprinkled in. Which is probably, because it's a smaller film,
sure,
with a smaller budget, with younger directors and a younger cast, so everyone's hungry to do something kind of new and different.
Yeah,
and willing to take some chances, but they know what already works because they've seen what doesn't work. It was like, we got to keep it small. We got to keep this story small. Maybe there's a couple different things of some zero G scenes and stuff like that, but for the most part, we're keeping it tight.
But then what? But how is, to your point, how is that any different from just being the first movie?
Well, because it's a little bit, it's a little bit. Well, again, it's a little bit bigger of a cast, but they are.
I just feel like the novelty of what the original Alien movie was almost like a large part of it. So
yeah, it was. Yeah,
like it's what made it relevant and interesting was that it was like we'd never seen anything like this before, and it was like, and now that I mean, even hell, the actors didn't even know that thing was going to pop out of his chest. It scared the hell out of them.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, dude. That's the scene where the chest burster comes out when he's on the table. Most of the actors didn't know that was happening. Like that is all legitimate terror on their faces. But I'm saying like it's almost like they're just trying to repeat a magic trick. Mm-hmm. And it's like we already and here's the thing, even if you repeat a magic trick well, I've already seen the trick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what's hard about these films, especially when it came with this third one of like, hey, Ripley is trying to explain the rules. It's like, we already know them. Yeah. Stop wasting our time. It's like, well, these characters don't know them. Yeah, but we do. Shut up. Move on.
I'd like to know, rough. They really want to like repeat the rules again, but they don't want to expand about like what the rules of what xenomorphs are actually, what they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've ever really got a firm and full reaction on, like full explanation on that. Like, I
think that's the Prometheus films, but I'd never watched them because I
watched Prometheus and I didn't really understand it. They're like, oh well, these are like to cull, and I'm like, okay,
an engineer fell into a waterfall or something, or bled a thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, their
engineer got face hugged. I don't know.
They're like bioengineered weapons, but like. They're weapons of mass destruction. It's a whole thing. But it's always been too complicated by half.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think if we just we'll put it on like an alien menagerie ship and they're secretly transporting a queen to the Wayland Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Easy peasy.
That's all we need to do.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Well, I think we did it, my friend.
I believe we did do it.
I think we nailed it. What are we doing next week?
Jay, don't be scared. But our next episode is our 100th episode.
Oh, wow.
So, in honor of doing this 100 times,
Mhm.
we are doing Attack of the Clones. In the old format,
Okay.
we will be doing Attack of the Clones. We will be building off of our original ideas for retelling of the prequel trilogy. So
Hell
dust
yeah.
off your notes or go back and watch that episode.
I gotta go watch that episode. Yeah.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pick up from there and do Attack of the Clones for
Awesome.
our 100th episode.
I can't wait. Actually, I'm pumped about that. I need to get right now.
Yeah, so do I. You'll have a little extra time because I'm gonna be away at my parents' 50th anniversary.
That's true. That's
So
true.
we'll
So do we
be
even
filming
have an
next
episode
weekend.
for the week that next week? I don't know if we do.
Well, I mean that's what we're doing Attack of the Clones, and then Wolverine. The last little episode here before we take a break for Brian's paternity leave is going to be X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I see. Okay, cool.
Or yes,
Dope. Well, that'll be really fun.
yeah, it will be fun.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you're catching this wherever you catch your audio podcast, you know what to do. Let me leave us 5 stars. Maybe leave a nice little review. I like reading them. They make me happy. And if you're catching this on YouTube, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, do that YouTube. That you do so well. Guacamole's extra. You podcast listening weirdos. You. And as we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the silent xenomorph you never see and or hear coming.
They're swift. We'll see you guys next week. This has been Rug Talk. Bye.
Bye.